seeing eye to eye with you today in every way. The way we live, the way we love, the way we laugh and play. We've got the touch, America. We're coming on with all the best. We've got the touch, America. UNCBS. You're tuned to us, we're tuned to you. It starts to touch you through and through. Touch of laughter, a touch of tears. Friends you've loved for years. We've got the touch, America. We're coming on with all the best. We've got the touch, America. UNCBS. We've got the touch, America. And we're coming on with all the best. We've got the touch, America. UNCBS. Shows are coming to touch you through and through. We've got it together, CBS and you. Laughing and romancing, and drama that's the best. You'll stay on top with CBS. We've got the touch, America, and we're reaching for the sky.
Ever wonder what happens when you click on that little join button and become a super fan of the channel? Well, the thing that you might notice right away is that I do my best to prioritize your comments and respond to them first. It's the very least that I can do. And if you stick around for a while, you'll probably also discover the channel member updates. These are exclusive videos that I do 2 to 3 times a month. You know, I gave away a bunch of Remind magazines during the last one. And we have exclusive live streams from time to time. Not every month, but at least a couple of times each quarter. But more than anything else, you have my total appreciation. I know it's only a couple of bucks, but it takes effort to click on that join button and express your support in that unique way.
Night Tracks will be back right after this.
See red and get mad savings on every CBS cassette. It's a wild red letter sale. All CBS cassettes have red lettering here, and they're all on sale. So when you see red, you'll get mad savings on Men at Work, Toto, Pink Floyd, Michael Jackson, Culture Club, Journey, and more. Just look for the red lettering for red hot CBS hit cassettes on sale now at participating stores.
Here comes Wrangler, and he's one tough customer. He's hard to beat when he takes his seat, yeah. And when he says jeans, he means Wrangler. Wrangler style shows its stuff. Good looking when the action's tough. Here comes Wrangler, and he's one tough customer, and he knows what he likes when he sees it.
People who have to watch the news on other networks don't always get to watch the news.
And that's the news.
But people who have cable news network always get to watch the news. Because cable news network is always on, 24 hours a day, with more news in more depth than all the other TV networks combined. If you can't get cable news network where you live, contact your cable operator today and tell him you don't ever want to miss the news again.
Monday on the TBS Morning Movie, Katharine Hepburn shares the desperate hopes and raging fury of a forgotten family in the powerful drama of The Glass Menagerie. Then on Monday afternoon, Bob Hope is in for a big surprise when he decides to step out on the town for Casanova's big night. And on Tuesday morning, Tyrone Power is under suspicion when fire ravages the city in old Chicago. The TBS Daytime Movies, only on Superstation WTBS. Enjoy the fast-paced excitement of TV's first video arcade game show, Starcade, Monday at 5:35 on Superstation WTBS.
watching Night Tracks for all your favorite sounds of the 80s.
This hour we'll have Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Al Jarreau, and Duran Duran.
The Live Stream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening and welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom. And if you enjoy talking about music, movies, mostly TV from decades gone by, and tonight in particular from 1983, well, you've come to the right place. So folks, it's been a couple of weeks. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, and I'm super excited to get back into the swing of things. And we've got quite a few people here this evening, and I am tickled with that. I want to say hello to everyone, but first, I've got business. I've got business to do with each of you, and in particular with a friend of mine who goes by the name of Kevin Connor. Kevin is my executive producer tonight. So, Kevin, thank you so much for dropping a super chat early. That made you one of my executive producers, which is a frequent title you have. And I really do appreciate all your support, Kevin. And let me find a way to say thank you. How about a little Austin Power Fembot action?
I have created the ultimate weapon to defeat Austin Powers. Bring in the Fembots!
Thank you so much, Kevin. Truly appreciate your support. Let me go ahead and let's see who is out here in the chat. I'm going to have to scroll up a bit, get to everybody. We've had folks here since yesterday, believe it or not. People posting in the chat since yesterday, which I think is funny. Danny Staten, a.k.a. the Fat Comic Book Guy, is here. Hello, Danny. Greetings from Kaysville, Utah, all the way out there to South Carolina. John Collins, channel member John Collins, says, hello, Dave and everyone. 1983 is my kind of year. In my kind of decade, the 80s, I'm going to clean up in trivia tonight. Yes, indeedy. Famous last words, right? Well, they might be famous last words because I have 10 questions. Some of them are going to be easy. And some of them are going to be not so easy. And they are not just TV related. They're music, movies, and TV. All of them, of course, related to 1983. Great to have you here, John. We've got channel member Lance Chaffin. Welcome, Lance. He says 1983 is when McDonald's came out with chicken nuggets, which is absolutely true. It's also, someone was asking about the Atari 2600. 1983 is when the Nintendo Entertainment System debuted, and it's also the year that we got Hot Pockets. Yep. Tom McCluskey's here, a.k.a. The Hungry Jerk. Hopefully you grabbed a bite and you're back. Jerry Gillespie, good to have you here. Adrian James, a delight as always. Dave Rasmussen, thank you for joining us tonight. Ken Wilkinson, good to have you here. Daryl Johnston, always great to have you on the stream with us and visiting in the chat. And if I miss someone, please forgive me, folks. I'm going to try to scroll through these quickly. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Channel member Angela McArdle, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us this evening. Michelle Books, who, by the way, graduated in 1983, as did my sister Valerie. So what a treat it is to have you with us this evening, Michelle. Thanks so much for joining. Channel member Shadows of Grief, also known as Justin Aylett, my good friend. Good to have you here this evening, Justin. Let's see what else we've got. Daryl Johnston asks if I got a bigger shelf. I don't know. Are you talking to me or someone else? Probably someone else. Oh, you're talking to Lance Chaffin about his DVDs. Got it. Tracy Roth Myers in the house. Of course, now she's a YouTube channel creator, and her channel is Tracy's Fractured History and More, folks. You need to check it out. I believe she posted her first video on television stations. What was the name of that station? I watched the video and I'm already drawing a blank. Belmont? No. You can help me out with that, Tracy. I've already forgotten the name of that station from network, I should say, from so many years ago. Dumont. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Scrolling through as quickly as possible. Yes, I should remind folks that there are a couple of things coming up if you are channel members. Now, all my videos are always going to be available to everyone, whether you're a channel member or not. But I do a couple of things. Well, I do a handful of things. I prioritize channel members' comments first in responding to them. But I also I give folks exclusive sneak preview access to videos. I'm going to be publishing, probably tomorrow, this video. And it is on Justine Bateman. It says she simply does not care. Channel members know what Justine does not care about. And the rest of you all will tomorrow as well. Also, we are going to have an exclusive channel member live stream the end of this month, Sunday, the 25th, I believe. So, hey, you know what? If you want to support the channel, if you'd like to support the good stuff, then click on that little join button that's right there below the window that you're looking at if you're on a desktop, and support the channel and get access to all of these great features. I would appreciate it. I really would. Okay, what else do I have to say tonight? Oh, here's something. Tonight, we will be giving away 2 copies of Retro Fan Magazine, and it will either be the May 2023 issue that you're seeing right here, and the good folks at Tomorrow's Publishing, the folks that publish Retro Fan Magazine, will send this directly to your mailbox. Wonderful, wonderful magazine. If they're not going to send the May 2023 one, sometimes they run out of copies, then you will be in line for the July 2023 issue. So stick around. We're going to have 2 drawings throughout the live stream tonight, and I'm giving away copies of Retro Fan, one of my all-time favorite magazines. By the way, there is a link to subscribe or to pick up copies in the description section of this live stream. And hopefully everybody's enjoying my latest video, The Truth About Their Relationship. That is Wesley Ure and Kathy, a.k.a. Kathleen Coleman from Land of the Lost. And I really had a lot of fun putting together this video, which was inspired, by the way, by my friend Pat McCormick and his conversations that he has recently had with both Wesley and Kathy. And if you haven't caught those videos, he does have his podcast in video format right here on YouTube. Definitely check it out. You will enjoy it. All right. Let me get back to the folks I was saying hello to. Maximus Prime is here. Channel member Mike D is here. Channel member Dominic D is here. Only 257, Lamont Bradford, Jay Aldridge, channel member Emily Miller, channel member Sean Innes, The Unapologetic Geek. Congratulations on hitting 8,000 subscribers. That's quite the milestone, my friend. Good job. Gloop Trekker is here as well. Trisha Yamada, welcome. So good to have you here with us. Redfish Tech 73, welcome. Rob Rubio says Voodoo Economics was in from President Reagan. Well, we certainly had President Reagan and all of his great ideas back then. I say great. It all depends on what your political leanings are. Let's see what else we have here. John E. Burnett says this is the 40th anniversary of new cartoons become first run like He-Man and Inspector Gadget. Yes, they both debuted in 1983. Well done. I think I said hello to Maximus Prime already. Dennis Hyvert is here as well. Welcome. So good to have you with us. Channel member David Kerbo, welcome. Always a treat to have you in the stream with us as well. Carla Cox, hello. Good to have you here. Media Archive Mike, Sakina McMurrin, Carolyn Harmon. Cher spelled S-H-R-E. Says, I was an 80s lady. Well, I was an 80s teenager. Let's see what else we've got here. Brent Howell says, greetings from Greensboro, North Carolina. Good to have you with us. Pete J. graduated in 83. Congratulations on your graduation way back then, and good to have you here. All right, folks. Keith E. Channel member Keith E. is here. Carla Cox, Sergeant Bun Bun, Matt Sweeney, Old Farm Show. Oh, wow. I think I said hello to David Rasmussen, Wajamin Custom God. The list goes on and on. Karen Lester, I see you there as well. Welcome to the live stream. I gotta stop. Otherwise, we won't get to all the great conversation that I want to have with you guys tonight around 1983. 1983 is certainly a special time for me. Hey, Lamont Bradford, welcome. Good to have you with us. And I think I'm going to stop there. So here's what we got going on. We're going to talk about 1983. We're going to give away some copies of Retro Fan Magazine. We're going to play trivia about 1983. We're going to do all this in an hour plus. And I think it should be a pretty good conversation. So stick around. I am also, while we do all this, I will be enjoying a little Diet Coke from McDonald's. Again, a reminder that in 1983 was when we first saw the chicken nugget for the first time. Let me take that comment off the screen. It's a great one from Pete, but let's keep a rolling. Now, what I will do, as I'm going to throw out some questions in a bit, but if you'd, I promise, if I see a super chat, that will get put on the screen ASAP, and I'll address any questions you have from that, or even I'll just read the comment, whatever you want to do. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to put a lot on the screen until we get to the point where I'm asking you about what your favorite TV show, that type of thing is. Because, like I said, we got a lot to do tonight. And what I wanted to do first is I wanted to talk about TV shows, 1983. But even before I do that, I was perusing through. This is an old copy of Remind magazine. This is the May 2021 edition, and there's one of my favorite sections is the flashback section. And in May, or was that, did I say May? Yeah, May of 2021, they flashed back to 1983. Did you know that the average yearly income for all families in the United States was $24,580? I remember being offered a job in 1984 that was roughly around that, the average income. And I had been working at Kmart, and it seemed like I was going to be a millionaire. It's just when you compare Kmart wages, which was making $3-something an hour, to what this was, there was a new paper plant, Kimberly-Clark paper plant, and I had applied and got an offer. I ended up not taking that. for a number of different reasons. I continued to work at Kmart for a while, took some time off to serve an LDS mission. Many of you know that I was raised in an LDS family, and then came back and went right back to Kmart and went to school. Got my degree, and that was the better decision. Anyway, a minimum wage, they point out, was $3.35. The cost of a new home in 1983, $75,000. Postage stamp, 20 cents. Gasoline was $1.16 a gallon way back then. And if you wanted a pound of bacon, it was gonna cost you 99 cents, so $1. Peanut butter was 69 cents. Potatoes, $1.29. And here's the thing, a 19-inch color television way back then was $419. That's something that actually cost more then than it does now, if you think about it from an electronic standpoint. I've already mentioned that the 1983 was the year we saw the Nintendo Entertainment System. We saw chicken nuggets, fruit roll-ups, and Hot Pockets for the first time. And so many great television shows, movies. We're gonna talk more about them in a bit. But let's talk about music for just a second. The top Billboard hits in 1983, Every Breath You Take by The Police, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, Flashdance, What a Feeling, Down Under by Men at Work, Beat It by Michael Jackson, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Oh, I love that song. Written by Jim Steinman, who was the primary songwriter for Meat Loaf. And he would write these 7, 8, 9, 10-minute bombastic songs for Meat Loaf that we all heard on Bad Out of Hell and later on in Bad Out of Hell 2. But in between there, he had a little bit of a falling out with Meat Loaf, and he went off and wrote songs for other people, including Bonnie Tyler and Air Supply, Barry Manilow, Barbra Streisand. The list goes on and on. Maneater was a big hit that year. Baby Come to Me by Patty Austin and James Ingram. Maniac by Michael Sembello. And Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics. Popular books in 1983. The novelization of Return of the Jedi. Pet Sematary by Stephen King. Christine by Stephen King. Hollywood Wives by Jackie Collins. And The Lonesome Gods by Louis L'Amour. Popular toys in 83, Cabbage Patch Kids. I remember, again, working at Kmart, I had all the neighborhood ladies came to me hoping that I could get their daughter a Cabbage Patch Kid for Christmas. I was not always successful. Glowworms, Hot Wheels Spiral Speedway, Little Sweetheart Car, My Little Pony See, and the Skeletor set. The World Series champions in 83 were the Baltimore Orioles. The NBA champions were the Boston Celtics. And the NCAA football champions were from my neck of the woods, the BYU, the Brigham Young University Cougars. And the Super Bowl champions were the LA Raiders. The LA Raiders. All right, folks, we're stopping there. It's time to talk about TV. And to get us going, I've got a little video that I'm going to play, and then we're going to talk, and I'm going to post your responses here on the screen. But let's talk a little bit about the top 10 television shows of 1983. You ready for this? Here we go. Let's take a trip back in time as we count down the top 10 television shows from 1983. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the groundbreaking police procedural drama Cagney and Lacey. This series broke barriers and challenged gender stereotypes by following the lives and careers of two female police detectives. Cagney and Lacey showcased the strength and resilience of women in law enforcement and left an indelible mark on television history. Moving on to number 9, we have the glamorous drama series Hotel. Set in a luxurious hotel, this show provided a glimpse into the lives of its staff and guests. With its star-studded cast and intriguing storylines, Hotel offered a captivating blend of romance, mystery, and suspense. Taking the 8th spot is the heartwarming sitcom Cade and Allie. Remember that one, folks? This show followed the lives of two recently divorced women who decide to live together and support each other through the ups and downs of life. With its relatable characters and witty humor, Kate and Allie became a fan favorite in 1983. Sliding into the 7th position, we have the addictive primetime soap opera Falcon Crest. Set in the wine country of California, this show depicted the power struggles and family conflicts within the wealthy Gioberti and Channing families. Falcon Crest kept viewers hooked with its mix of romance, intrigue, and ooh-la-la scandal. Now there's a familiar face. Coming in at number 6 is the beloved crime drama Magnum P.I. Set in beautiful Hawaii, this show followed the adventures of one Mr. Thomas Magnum, a private investigator with a knack for getting into trouble. With its stunning locations, compelling mysteries, and the charismatic Tom Selleck in the lead role, Magnum P.I. captured the hearts of audiences. Taking the 5th spot is another detective series, Simon & Simon. This show centered around two brothers who ran a private detective agency, solving cases with their unique blend of skills and personalities. Simon & Simon kept viewers entertained with its equal mix of humor and action. Speaking of action, as we move closer to the top, we have the action-packed adventure series The A-Team at number 4. This show followed a group of ex-military commandos as they used their skills to help those in need, all while evading the authorities. The A-Team became a pop culture sensation, known for its thrilling action sequences and iconic characters. Now we're getting to the creme de la creme of 1983. Breaking into the top 3, we have the glamorous and extravagant primetime soap opera Dynasty. This series provided a glimpse into the lives of the wealthy Carrington family, filled with power struggles, of course, love affairs, for sure, and high-stakes drama. Dynasty captivated audiences with its opulent settings, its unforgettable catfights, and larger-than-life characters. Here's a show I didn't watch at all in 1983, but I actually kind of like now. Almost at the top of the list, we have the long-running news magazine program 60 Minutes at number 2. Known for its investigative journalism and in-depth reporting, this show brought viewers compelling stories and interviews that shaped the news landscape of 1983. 60 Minutes, to this day, remains a respected and influential program. And now, the moment that we've all been waiting for. You knew what it was, right? Taking the number 1 spot is the iconic primetime soap opera Dallas. This gripping drama took the world by storm with its captivating storylines, family feuds, and the unforgettable question, who shot JR? Dallas became a cultural phenomenon, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats, eagerly anticipating each new episode. So there you have it, the top TV shows of 1983, counting down from number 10 to number 1. These shows brought laughter, drama, and suspense into our living rooms and continue to hold a special place in our hearts to this very day. So that top 10 right there, that's based on the Nelson ratings for the 1983 to 84 television season. So was your favorite show on the list? Now's your chance. Let's put some comments on the screen. Tell me, folks, what is your favorite TV show that was on during 1983? If you can remember that far back. These days I struggle a little bit myself remembering, but what was your favorite TV show during 1983? And I'll put these on the screen and we'll read some of these. Kerbo's going all spoiler on us, says that Mary Crosby shot JR. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, Knight Rider wasn't in the top 10 that year. It's interesting. Did you notice how many CBS television shows, they really ruled the ratings during that television season, the 83 TV series? And it's just, I think 7 of the 10 shows were from CBS. Let's see what we got. Kenneth Wilkinson says Dallas. John Bernstein mentions Hardcastle and McCormick, which debuted in the fall of 1983 and ran for, I think it was 3 seasons. And starred Brian Keith and, boy, I'm drawing a blank on the other actor's name. Knight Rider, says Justin Aylett, favorite show. Tom McCluskey says his favorite show was number 6, Magnum PI, and channel member Angela McArdle says the A-Team, naturally. Tug, the unapologetic geek, says I got to give it to Magnum. DOA version 2.1, well, it was the people. The people spoke. Dallas was number 1, and that you are in agreement. Carl Smith says Knots Landing. Maud Matilda H says the A-Team. Channel member Dominic D says A-Team and Cheers. David Thomas says the A-Team. Janet Wood says Dallas. Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, Nick Mamonis says Dynasty. Rochelle says Punky Brewster. Jordan Frazier says Hill Street Blues and Cheers. Hill Street Blues, what a great show. Gloop Trekker says Dallas and Hill Street Blues were addictive. Dave Rasmussen says he was 4 in 83, but he agrees. Let's see what we got. The Nostalgic Podblast, welcome to the live stream tonight, says Hardcastle McCormick. And Danny Staten, well, you and I were watching the same thing. They had nights in the early 80s. I don't know if you remember this, Danny, but they had Night Stalker reruns on CBS. So it was an ABC TV show, right? And it aired during the 70s. But they had this late night thing. CBS didn't have a talk show like Carson or anything like that. And so what they had was a revolving series or a rotating series of TV shows and movies that they'd play. And one of them was The Night Stalker. And I would watch those episodes there. I think that was really where I didn't get a chance to watch them all when they originally premiered on ABC. And this was my chance to reacquaint myself with the great Darren McGavin as Carl Kolchak, and just a wonderfully made television series. Maximus Prime says Knight Rider, A-Team, Different Strokes, Facts of Life. I watched all those shows as well, and this one I watched a ton of too, Mr. Tracy Williamson, MTV. It wasn't a TV show, but it was a way of life, right? It was a way of life. Goldtrap was watching The Dukes, as was I. And Matt Sweeney was watching The Fall Guy. Let's see. The Unapologetic Geek says Knight Rider is a theme song I could instantly get stuck in my head. I hear it right now. I think it's composed by Glenn A. Larson. Let's see. Raja 1938, welcome to the live stream, Raja, says The Thornbirds was good, had a great soundtrack. Yes. Richard Chamberlain. Channel member Sean Innes says Magnum PI probably. He killed one person per season in the season finale. It felt pretty hardcore back then. David Kerbo says Dallas loved it. Larry Hagman was perfect. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, always a treat to have you in the stream with us. Says Cheers and Family Ties. We're just starting to get there in 1983. Gloop Trekker was watching Star Blazers in the afternoons. Was it called Star Blazers back then, or was it Battle of the Planets, or am I mixing up my shows? Joseph Waters says A-Team, Dukes of Hazzard. Wedge Antilles starts to give us the intro to the A-Team. And let's see. Oh, my goodness. Was 1983 the year we got Coy and Vance Duke? Oh, I actually feel bad for those actors. Byron Cherry, and I'm drawing a blank on the other one right now, but really, they kind of got a raw deal, but, that was not going to work. They should have known that they needed to settle with the original actors, John Schneider and Tom Wopat. Mike D, channel member Mike D, said, we pretty much loved anything on NBC sitcoms, especially Family Ties. Did Hunter debut in 83 or was it a year or two later? I want to say it was a year or two later. Could be wrong, David. Hardcastle McCormick says John Birdstein. There's a lot of Hardcastle McCormick fans here. That's great to see. Let's see. Tracy Rothmeyer says, funny, I did not see comedies in that top 10. There was Kate and Allie. I'm looking at the list right now, and that was it. Now, there were a lot of comedies in the top 20 if we just went a little further down. Janice Pulaski says, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, The Love Boat, Cheers, 82, 83. What a great lineup the ABC had. And it was just starting to get a little bit Those shows had been around for a while by then, and they were just starting to get, well, Happy Days had jumped the shark. But I still watched them too. Daniel Hugh Kelly, thank you. That was the name of the co-star in Hardcastle and McCormick with Brian Keith. Opeldale Doc 1 says it is an episodic TV, but the overnight talk show Night Watch, mainly due to a huge crush on one of its hosts. Okay, I'll give you that. Gloop Trekker says yes, Three's Company was still on. It was still first run. We were at the later years of that show as well. Suzanne Summers had left the program. Trisha Yamada says Dallas and drinking Lipton iced tea. Well, that sounds like a nice combination. And Nostalgic Pod Blast had no love. Oh, he's asking, no love for the Fall Guy? Well, someone mentioned it, and I certainly enjoyed the Fall Guy. I really love that theme song as sung by Lee Majors and as written by, well, co-written by Glenn A. Larson. Tom McCluskey says he still watches The Love Boat, as do I. Blotchu Bear says, sorry, Nostalgic. The cat fights between Alexis and Crystal took it to another level while Dallas was all talk. I was a Dynasty fan as well. Hey, look at this. Channel member John Collins says the best special that year was Motown's 25th anniversary. And of course, I think it was the first time I saw Michael do the moonwalk there. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see. Casey says, I love the Scarecrow, Mrs. King. I did too. I like both of those actors, Bruce Boxleitner and Kate Jackson. Saying Elsewhere was good, says Nick Mamonis. Don't disagree. Let's see. Did Dinosaurs come out in 83? I was thinking it was later. Channel member Keith E says Pamela, Sue, Martin, and Dynasty. John E. Burnett. By the way, John, thanks for all the tweets that you include me in. I enjoy those immensely. Says Dave, Fame was on first-run syndication in 1983, but its debut was on NBC in 1982. I remember that. I remember it moving from NBC to syndication, where it had a number of successful seasons. Kind of a fun show. Had Jimmy Osmond on it. I think Janet Jackson was on it too. Let's see, probably too young, says AdLad75, but I remember watching parts of V, the original miniseries on NBC in 83. I loved V. Didn't love The Final Battle as much, and the TV series, I could take it or leave it, but that original miniseries V was tremendous. I've done a video, published a video about the things I learned from that miniseries, and there are many. Jan Koza says Dallas. Larry Moore says, do not forget the Friday night lineup on CBS. Well, I love the entire Friday night lineup. We had the Hulk as well there. But Dukes of Hazzard, yeah. Holding down the fort there on CBS. The Dukes were so great. Blatchy Bear says, favorite TV show? Well, it wasn't a show, my cable box. It was my cable box when I got MTV. I can't tell you. I skipped so much school. It was my first year of college in 83. And I would much rather, instead of going to class, head over to, we had a little fast food joint called Rennie's. And they would do these fresh banana shakes. And the fries, you would order one size of fries, and they were cheap. They were like 59 cents, and it was this huge bag. And their burgers were phenomenal. I could spend a couple bucks, well, probably $3-4, and get a great meal and head back. And I would just literally, I dip those fries in my banana shake and watch videos instead of going to school. And let's just say that first year at Salt Lake Community College was not a standout year for me scholastically. And it's my fault. I didn't have the discipline, right? But I do blame MTV partially for my abysmal grades in 1983. Even when I was at school, they had this big screen TV in the Union Building. Now, I had a choice. Union Building with big screen TV playing MTV videos all day or going to class. What would you do? I mean, come on. It's a no-brainer. Lamont Bradford mentioned CBS Late Night. It was fantastic. If you weren't in the mood to watch Carson, my local CBS station would play the news at 10, MASH, and then they would go straight into the CBS late night rotating lineup, including Kolchak. Channel member Angela McArdle says, I watched The Fall Guy in reruns, but loved it. I loved it as well, too. Custom God says, didn't watch much TV in 83. I quit watching TV for a few years. And Media Archive Mike was just bored, but he knows the 18 was everywhere. All right, folks, I'm going to stop there. What a great conversation this has been, though. What an absolute treat, because I got to ask you, we've got to talk about movies just a little bit. So what was your favorite movie of 1983? My favorite movie of 1983 was the movie that I spent 12 hours, approximately 12 hours waiting in line for. I stood out in line of the Broadway Center Theater in Salt Lake City, Utah, with my friends Travis Ellsworth and David Nilsson, and we waited for hours to go see Return of the Jedi. And matter of fact, we were one of the first ones in line, and so much so that we had news crews there, and I was on the news, get excitedly running in to get my seat, get the best seat in the house. But the Center Theater back then in 1983 was one of those opulent movie theaters that just they don't have anymore. You know, the Megaplex has gotten rid of these theaters, but it was just vast and it was huge, and the screen was ginormous. But it probably sat 300 people. It was just that big of a movie theater. It is now a Megaplex, by the way. They've torn down that building, and in its place is another theater called the Center Theater, but it's a multiplex. It's not it plays actually plays art films, so it's not like what your first run commercial films. But anyway, favorite movie, Return of the Jedi. But there were other movies that came out in 83. We had, of course, Terms of Endearment, Flashdance, Octopussy, and War Games. And I really enjoyed War Games as well. That's a close second for me. Really thought was it the first movie I ever saw with Matthew Broderick? Not sure, but such a good movie. Ali Sheedy, Matthew Broderick, lots of fun. Shall we play a game? Great stuff. So let's go to your comments. What was your favorite movie of 1983? I got to scroll down here. Again, if you really want to comment on the screen, you're going to have to super chat it tonight. Otherwise, I'm going to just kind of roll through a lot of the comments and get to where I'm asking the question. Let's see. Still talking TVs here. We're close. Here we go. I'm seeing movies here. All right. Let's go right here. Nostalgic Podblast says Return of the Jedi. Oh, by the way, Lance, thank you for reminding everybody to hit that like button, or else. Nostalgic Podblast, Return of the Jedi. Emily Miller, channel member Emily Miller. Thank you for your support, Emily. Says Return of the Jedi, of course. Maxis Prime says Return of the Jedi. Channel member Angela McArdle. Thank you for your support. Says Return of the Jedi. DEFCON 4, I don't even remember that movie. Should I? Are we talking about War Games there? Return of the Jedi, says Tom McCluskey. Redfish Tech 73 says Return of the Jedi. Lamont Bradford, a little different, more of a giggler there, trading places. Nostalgic Podblast says War Games was second favorite, as it was mine. The Phoenix, sounds familiar, but I don't remember. Melissa Foster, Return of the Jedi, yes. Let's see. Dominic D. Was it Vacation in the 83 movie? I thought it was earlier. Channel member Mike D. says Return of the Jedi for sure. Willie Bowen concurs. The Nostalgic Podblast says Superman 3. What a disappointment that movie was, right? It didn't even make it into the top 10 box office movies for that year. Just a disappointment. Although, in comparison to Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, kind of a masterpiece. Kind of a masterpiece. Okay, I do see a super chat, so I want to get to that, and then we'll get back to more regarding everybody's favorite movies of 83. And this one comes from John Collins, always a great supporter. John says, does YouTube keep record of who is the top commenter on a given YouTube channel? They do not. They do not provide any sort of reporting or anything like that in terms of who comments more than anything else. Now, they do, one interesting thing is there's a level of engagement that is kind of, maybe they do some internal tracking, because as you make a comment, there's multicolored emojis and symbols that show up next to your name. And it really does represent your level of engagement, how often you comment, how often I reply to your comments, all those kind of things. But I don't see any reporting. There's no ranking, anything like that. It's not available to me. I just visually have those little tiny symbols / emojis that show up next to your name when you make a comment. Great one, John. And let me find a way to say thank you to you, my good friend. You know, we're going to do today, Charo. We haven't done Charo in a long time. There she is, April Lopez on the Love Boat. None other than Charo, a fantastic guitarista, by the way. Really wonderful with flamenco music and the guitar with the nylon strings, classical guitar. She's just phenomenal. You know, you may not think much of her as an actor, but as a musician, she's one of the best out there. Check her out on YouTube. Thank you, John. Truly appreciate your support. Hopefully, I answered your question. You can follow up with me on Twitter if you would like to. If you have a follow-up question, you don't need to keep throwing super chats at me. Let's see. I did see another super chat, though. I want to get to that one. Paul Rotter, he just wants to make sure that I point out that his favorite movie in 1983 was Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. And yes, 83, we were still very much into the first wave of, well, not the first wave, really the second wave of 3D mania in terms of motion pictures. That was the year we also got Jaws 3D. Don't forget that one. But thank you, Paul Rotter. Appreciate the support. And let me find a way to say thank you to you as well.
Well, isn't that special?
Truly is special. Thank you for the super chat and appreciate your support, good sir. All right. Now, I think we've taken care of those. Let's get back over here again, and let me see if I can get some more of, got to scroll back up. Here we go. The Right Stuff. Did it come out in 83 or 84 or later? Justin says, I didn't like the Star Wars stuff at all. What else came out in 83? Well, Trading Places was another one of my favorites. I mentioned War Games. Flashdance. Let's see. Creepshow. Was Creepshow 83? I'm not sure. Unapologetic Geek says either Jedi or War Games. Rasha 1938 says yes, Superman 3 with Richard Pryor. The movie had its moments. Don't get me wrong. It just paled in comparison to the first two. Yeah, Creepshow was 82. Folks are pointing that out. Terrell Eugene Bellinger says, Return of the Jedi, great conclusion to the initial Star Wars trilogy. I certainly thought that when I waited all day to go into an evening performance on the first night, May 25th, 1983, by the way. I wasn't disappointed. I was very excited by that movie. Star Trek 2, did it come out in 83 or 82? I want to say 82, but it might have been 83. Tug says The Right Stuff. Willie Bowen did not like War Games at all. Oh, really? Matthew Broderick, Ali Sheedy. That was fun. The Big Chill, Lawrence Kasdan's movie. Jay Aldridge says Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan on ABC Nights movie, whether it was the Monday night, the Tuesday night, the Wednesday night, Well, they didn't have Tuesday night movies on ABC. Sunday night movie was their big night. Octopus, he says, Raja, 1938. Podblast says, War Games was great. And channel member Emily Miller says, Shadows. This is talking Shadows of Grief. Justin Aylett. I was the only girl in my class who loved Star Wars when it first came out. Oh, good gravy. The only girl? What about all the Princess Leia and everything? I would have thought it would appeal to more girls than just you, Emily. Well, thank you for being there. So representing the female gender, if you will. Pieces, the horror movie, was it 83 is the question? I do not know. I don't even remember that movie. Ms. Elizabeth, Music Girl 67, channel member. I should also say thank you for your support. It says Flashdance, War Games, and Risky Business for me. That was a fun movie. Risky Business was great. The Outsiders, was that 83? I didn't remember it being. That feels about right, yeah. The Life and Sad Ending. Hey, Steve Tevis. Says Scarface. Yeah, that was a good one. Boy, Star Trek 2. Someone should look that up because I'm feeling like that was 82, but it might have been 83. We had Star Trek, the motion picture, in 79. I think Trek 2 was 82. E.T. was still running in 83 when it got released in 85. Re-released in it. Then it got re-released in 85, yeah. Yes, long before Ferris Bueller, we had Matthew Broderick in War Games. Danny Staten says Sleepaway Camp. And Alberto Morales says Love the Outsiders. And Janice Pulaski says National Lampoon's Vacation. Okay, maybe it did come out in 83. Let's see what else we've got here. How far behind am I? I am way behind. So I'm going to try to go super fast here. Shadows of Grief says Big Chill. Willie Bowen says Scarface, but that was... I think that was an 83 movie. I think Scarface was 83. I'm asking a question about Scarface in the trivia, so it better be. If not, I'm wrong. Oh, well. Let's see. Channel member Sean Innes says The Dead Zone, The Right Stuff, Meaning of Life. Yes, the Monty Python stuff was so great. Roger 1938 says, of course, we can't forget Rodney Dangerfield. Georgia Ayer says War Games. Tootsie, yes, says Tracy Rothmeyers. Another good one. Let's see what else we got. Danny Staten says my favorite was Twilight Zone, the movie. Do you want to see something really scary, Danny? Tootsie was 82? Why did I think it was 83? Oh, well. We're close, right? Either way. Oh, we do need drive-ins again. The world needs more drive-ins. I have so many great memories. Someone mentioned Superman 3. That's where I saw Superman 3 was in a drive-in. The Redwood Drive-In here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Right now, I think they may still play movies every now and again, but more often it's used as a flea market. Alberto Morales says, I saw Sleepaway Camp at the Bel Air Drive in Chicago. Channel member Emily Miller says, with over 100 people in the chat, I can't imagine trying to keep up. Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm going to end up skipping some folks. I'm sorry. Larry Moore says War Games. Oh, here's a great one. Music Girl 67, channel member Music Girl 67 says Valley Girl. Oh, great show. And Cujo were great as well. Martin DeVilliers says Vacation. Trisha Yamada says Risky Business. Maximus Prime says, I remember my mom not wanting to see the Twilight Zone movie because of the accident. Yes. Vic, what was his name? Drawing a blank on his name, but we had two children, and Vic something or other. You guys can help me with that. Lost his life. While they were filming that, of course, John Landis, one of the directors, faced criminal charges because of that accident. E.T. was released in 82, I believe. Maybe even 81. Well, I'm so far behind, I'm just getting to the super chats from a while ago. The Unapologetic Geek says Superman 3 traumatized me as a kid. Well, seeing evil Superman would. Jaws 3D says Maximum Prime. So many great comments, and I'm going to stop right here. We've got so much to do today, and I promise to keep this live stream tonight to an hour plus. So we'll go ahead and stop there. I am looking forward to coming back after the live stream's over, clicking on the replay button and watching this again. And again, instead of focusing on what I have to say, I can just read everybody's comments while I kind of hear me off in the background. It's a different experience for me, and truthfully, an equally enjoyable one for sure. So I am going to give away a copy of, let's do this. Let's go ahead and give away our first copy of Retro Fan magazine. So I've got to get it set up, so don't put anything in the chat yet. I'll tell you what to put in the chat in just a minute. But I'll put a video on, a little bit of it, you know what, get you excited about Retro Fan. Let's take a peek at some of the covers of in the past couple of years from Retro Fan magazine. I'll be back. I'll tell you all what you need to enter in the chat to be eligible for the drawing. Here we go. All right, I am back. Someone said, oh, it was Drew. He said he had to pee. Well, truthfully, I did not yet, but I will. I've got commercials for that, Drew. I wanted to point out, Tom McCluskey said, I turned Dave onto Retro Fan magazine a few years ago. Yes, you did. And thank you so much for doing that, Tom. So here's the deal. I need folks to type in hashtag Retro1 in the chat if you would like to be eligible for the first of 2 drawings that we'll do tonight. And, you know, I mentioned this earlier. I've got a link if you want to check out the Retro Fan store over at Tomorrow's Publishing. I've got a link in the description section of the video. It's just a fantastic magazine. Tom actually sent me a couple of copies of Retro Fan, and I fell in love with the magazine. What it really does, it's like, it just does a deep dive into so many cool kind of pop culture, geeky, nerdy subjects, things that I love. They really focus on the 70s and 80s, and there is something something magical about a print magazine. I don't want to see them go away, folks. Being able to have that tangible experience with you just kind of holding that magazine. There's a sensory pleasure that I do not get when I'm reading a magazine on my tablet. And magazines like RetroFan, it's just such a different experience than reading articles online. They're the experts, and it feels like they're the experts. It's really curated content. And the other thing that I love about RetroFan is it feels to me like I'm part of their community, much like you are all part of this community tonight. So I would say, I hope you all win the drawing, one of the two drawings. But if you don't win, click on the link. Take a look at what they have to offer over there. Subscribe to the magazine. You can do it in digital format if you must. It's cheaper. Or subscribe to the print version. That's definitely the way to go if you ask me. But these magazines, print magazines, aren't going to be around forever. I'm just really worried that unless we support folks like RetroFan, they're going to be gone soon. Okay. Have I stalled long enough? We've got 39 people in the drawing eligible to win. I'm going to give folks about 10 more seconds. If you were waffling about being in the drawing, seriously, folks, I'm not asking for a credit card, anything. This is a no obligation type deal. All you have to do is I'll give you an email address. You send me your name, your physical address. I forward it on to Tomorrow's Publishing. They send you the latest copy of RetroFan magazine, and everybody's happy. So if you want to be in the drawing, please do. I'm going to give it about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Who's it going to be tonight? Who is our first winner? It is Maud Matilde H. Congratulations, Maud Matilde H. It's great to have you as a winner. Now, I see a British flag in the background. I sure hope you're in the U.S. because they can't ship outside of the U.S. If you are, by chance, in the U.K., don't worry. I will find something equally wonderful to send to you. But I'm hoping you're in the U.S. I'm hoping. Congratulations to you, though, Maud. That's excellent. And we will have another drawing in just a little bit. But we're going to do some trivia here in just a minute. So, Maud Matilde H., if that is your name, here is, let me give you there's my email address. I don't like to flaunt it around too much, but there it is. And if you will send me your name and address, I will forward it on and we'll get that copy sent out to you. I'm not going to leave this on the screen very long. I don't want people spamming me. So if for any reason you haven't written it down by now, remember you can always go back and watch the video and fast forward to this point. It's about the hour and 3-minute mark in the video to see my email address again. Okay, so that was fun. Congratulations, Maud. We will give away another copy in just a little bit, but what do you say we watch a handful of commercials? There's my pee break, Drew. A handful of commercials from 1983 and come back and do some trivia. Then we'll end the night with one more drawing, and we'll all go away happy and edified by all the 1983 information that we were able to learn or re-remember. In many cases, it is an interesting thing. This exercise of recollection, of reminiscing, it's a good thing for people to do. I truly believe that, and I'm yammering. So let's go ahead and watch the commercials. I will be right back, and we'll start on some trivia. I got 10 questions, some hard, some easy. I think you're going to enjoy them.
Lay back, slip into something tan.
You, the sun.
And copper tone, it's so easy to look so good.
So dark, so dazzling.
copper tone.
Copper tone is the one for the tan, for the protection.
Lay back, slip into something tan. Copper tone.
Monday, the Square Pegs kick off Johnny Slash's new career.
Totally.
Then, a comedy special with two sisters living it up in San Francisco.
Walls are wet.
Yeah, self-cleaning.
She's with me. And on Tucker's Witch, Rick and Amanda stalk a killer who's stalking Amanda. Ted Danson co-stars Monday.
This is CBS.
Pepsi free. Let your taste go free. Pepsi free. You're going caffeine free. The taste is positively Pepsi and it's caffeine free. Positively Pepsi free.
Leave it to Pepsi to make a caffeine-free cola with a taste that's positively Pepsi. Pepsi-free, regular and sugar-free.
The taste is positively Pepsi and it's caffeine free. Positively Pepsi free. Pepsi free.
Every morning I use Listerine antiseptic for me. In the morning, your mouth has millions more bad breath germs than the night before. Listerine kills the germs that can cause morning breath, and it works hours longer than the number 2 mouthwash. At night, I use it a second time for Cindy Lou. It keeps my breath clean a good long time. Listerine, one time for me.
Second time for me.
Listerine, twice a day.
One time for me.
A second time for me.
This isn't just a commercial, this is a plain truth. And I'm not just a spokesperson, I'm a believer. Because this isn't just a snack, it's nacho cheese Doritos. And it's not just nacho cheese, it's 3 kinds of cheese. And it's not just 3 kinds of cheese, it's corn, tomato, onions, and spices. And it's not just corn, tomato, onions, and spices, it's my favorite. And it's not just my favorite, it's the whole country's favorite. Because it's not just a snack, it's Doritos. And this isn't just the end of my Doritos, this is the end of my commercial.
Dolph Quick wants to know if I'm trying to grow a beard. No, I am just so lazy when it comes to shaving. I don't love it. And I have been working from home this week. Where I work, I have 1 week on in the office and then the next week off. I'm in my off week. So I didn't shave when I normally would shave on Sunday. And I'm looking pretty scruffy. That's for sure. All right. It's trivia time. Woo! All right. 10 questions. As I always do, we will stop after 3 questions to see what people are doing score-wise. And then we'll stop at 6, and then we'll go all the way to the ending at final scores. What I would encourage you to do is you can answer the questions a number of different ways. Of course, you can just lock it in your noggin. You can put it in the chat. You can write it on a piece of paper. Whatever works best for you. 10 questions about music, movies, and TV, all having to do with the year 1983. So let me go ahead and get the questions up. Here we go. 1983, and let's see. Are we ready? Everybody ready? Let me go ahead and go to the very first question. I'm going to get my timer up here too so that we can keep this trivia going on at a fairly decent clip. First question. Which John Landis directed music video premiered on music television MTV in 1983? Was it A, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson? B, Thriller by Michael Jackson? I don't need to say by Michael Jackson. We all know these are all by Michael Jackson. C, Beat It, or D, Bad? Which of these Michael Jackson videos, directed by John Landis, premiered in 1983? Billie Jean, Thriller, Beat It, or Bad? And really the thing you need to key in on this one, with 30 seconds on the clock right now, is that which of these videos was directed by John Landis? That's the difference here. Because it's possible that more than one of these videos, although I think this might have been the only 83 video. The others might have been 82. Maybe not. All right, we've got about 10 seconds left, so get your answers in, folks. Which one is it? Billie Jean, Thriller, Beat It, or Bad? And the correct answer is Thriller. Yes, John Landis directed. It was an epic video that debuted towards the tail end of 1983 with Vincent Price's narration. Those zombies dancing, I think we all remember it very, very well. Moving on to number 2. Which television series did not end in 1983? A. Archie Bunker's Place, B. MASH, C. Taxi, or D. Webster? Let me put the timer on the clock and I will read the question one more time. Which television series did not end in 1983? A. Archie Bunker's Place, B. MASH, C. Taxi, or D. Webster? Those are some great shows. And 3 of them ended in 1983. Which one did not? All right, and the correct answer is, I think most of you probably got it, Webster. It debuted in 1983. All of the others, their final episodes aired at some point during 1983. Number 3, which movie released in 1983 starred Al Pacino as a Cuban refugee turned drug lord? Is it A. Scarface, B. The Untouchables, C. The Godfather Part 3, or D. Carlitos Way? Again, timer started. Which movie was released in 1983 and starred Al Pacino as a Cuban refugee turned drug lord? Was it A. Scarface, B. The Untouchables, C. The Godfather Part 3, or D. Carlitos Way? All great movies, for sure. Although, The Godfather Part 3 really pales in comparison to the first 2. I still enjoyed it, though. All right, your correct answer is Scarface. Okay, before we move forward, I'd love to see scores, see how everybody's doing. Let's see some scores, people. That's good. Good Diet Coke. McDonald's really has an excellent mix when it comes to Diet Coke. All right, here's the scores. Custom God, 2 of 3. Jay Aldridge, 3 of 3. Nostalgic Pod Blast, 3 of 3. David Thomas, 2 of 3. Channel member Sean Innes, 3 of 3. Jordan Fraser, 3 of 3. Lamont Bradford, 3 of 3. Media Archive Mike, 3 so far. Larry Moore, 3 so far. Tracy Rothmeyers, channel member Tracy Rothmeyers, 3 for 3. Nick Mamonas, 3 for 3. Max Prime, 3 of 3. Melissa Foster, 3 for 3. Kenny the Wine Guy, channel member Kenny the Wine Guy, 3 for 3. Channel member Emily Miller, perfect so far. Dolph Quick, 3 of 3. Karen Lester, 1 of 3. Channel member David Kerbo, 3 for 3. Booyah Tug, 3 of 3. Ken Wilkinson, 2 of 3. Paul Rodder, 2 so far. Good Owner, 2 of 3. Robert Forsythe, 2 of 3. Brent Howells, got them all so far. Good work. Channel member Mike D, all so far. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, a.k.a. Teb, 3 of 3. Willie Bowen, 2 of 3. Tom McCluskey, 1 of 3. Wedge Antilles, not flying his X-Wing out there, 2 of 3. And Georgie Ayers, 3 of 3. All right, that's all I've got so far. We're going to stop there, and we'll keep going with the questions. Moving on to number 4. Which TV show? If you watch the video, you'll know this one. I played a video about 20 minutes ago. Gave you the answer to this one. Which television show did not rank in the top 10 for the 1983 to 84 television season? Which one did not rank in the top 10? Dallas, Falcon Crest, Kate and Allie, or Newhart? Let me get the timer on the screen. Here we go. Which TV show did not rank in the top 10 for the 1983-84 television season? Was it A, Dallas, B, Falcon Crest, C, Kate and Allie, or D, Newhart? Whew. Wonderful shows. All of them wonderful shows. Now, those of you that remember Tracy Rothmeyer's comment about comedies, you might be able to kind of whittle it down just based on that comment. All right. Your correct answer for number 4 is, I went backwards. Let's do it this way. Newhart is the correct answer. Yeah, Newhart wasn't in the top 10. Really surprised me. Love that show. Number 5. Another music question. Who won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year in 1983? And no, it wasn't Milli Vanilli. Was it A, Michael Jackson, B, Toto, C, Lionel Richie, or D, Prince? Timer's up and running. Again, the question is, who won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year in 1983? Was it A, Michael Jackson, B, the band Toto, C, Lionel Richie, or the legendary Prince, the purple one? Just about 5 seconds left. Let me go ahead and take the timer off the screen, and your correct answer is Michael Jackson for the album Thriller. Number 6, which British band released their album Synchronicity in 1983? Was it A, U2, B, The Police, C, Duran Duran, or D, Queen? Timer running. Again, your question is, which British band released their album Synchronicity in 1983? Was it A, U2, B, The Police, C, Duran Duran, or D, Queen? What a group of bands there. What a year, 83. I've always said 84 was probably the most magical year for me music-wise, but 83 was pretty darn good too. And we've already talked a lot about MTV. That's a large part of the reason why. All right, the correct answer is The Police. Okay, let's take a look at scores here. Let me go back over to the comments section. I'll start looking at scores. I think a lot of you are going to do well. I do have at least one more, I think, semi-difficult question for our remaining 4 questions. We'll see. All right. Tracy Roth Myers, channel member Tracy Roth Myers, is rocking it tonight. That's what happens when you become a YouTube creator, Tracy. You kind of get that additional little something extra. 6 for 6. Channel member Superplex, 4 for 6. Channel member Angela McArdle, 6 for 6. Channel member David Kerbo, 6 for 6. Lamont Bradford, 6 for 6. Jay Aldridge, 6 for 6. David Thomas, 4 for 6. Channel member Kenny the Wine Guy, 6 for 6. Channel member Emily Miller, 6 for 6. We all know our 1983, don't we? Channel member Sean Innes, 6 for 6. Robert Forsyth, 5 of 6. Dolph Quick, 6 of 6. Tug, 6 of 6. Jordan Frazier, 6 of 6. Paul Rotter, 4 of 6. Media Archive Mike, 6 of 6. Sakina McMurrin rocking it tonight at 6 for 6. Larry Morris, 6 as well. Willie Bowen must have stopped somewhere along the way. Got 3 for 3. Good job. Nick Mamona, 6 for 6. Good owner, 4 of 6. Karen Lester, 2 of 6. Teb, oh my goodness. He missed the other questions. We'll go back and answer them later. 4 for 6 so far, though. Tom has lost count. Brent Howell is 6 of 6. Ken Wilkinson, 4 of 6. Tracy Randolph, 5 of 6. Channel member Mike D, 5 of 6. Melissa Foster, not too shabby at 4 of 6. Wedge Antilles, 4 of 6. Max Prime, 5 of 6. Willie Bowen, 5 of 6. Gary Carpenter, 6 of 6. George Ayers, 4 of 6. And Tom thinks he's 4 of 6. Custom Gods, 5 of 6. Well done, everybody. You're doing great. Let's see how we do on this final stretch. We've got 4 more questions, and then we'll get final scores. Here we go. Question number 7. How many television shows based on MASH were broadcast at some point during 1983? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Timer is up and running again. Let's think about this a little bit. How many TV shows were based upon some iteration of MASH during the 1983 calendar year? So we're not talking about the 83-84 television season. We're talking about some point during 1983, how many different television shows were based on MASH that were on TV? All of them on CBS, by the way. Was it A1, B2, C3, or D4? Your correct answer is 3, people. We had the final episode of MASH air in the early months. Was it February or April of 83? Can't remember. Drawing a blank on the actual month and date, but it was early on. In I think it was February of 1983. And then, of course, we had Trapper John M.D. that was currently running on CBS with Pernell Roberts. And then After MASH debuted on CBS. Its first season was the 83-84 television season. So 3 TV shows based in some way or another upon MASH. 8. Which TV show won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Drama Series in 1983? A. Miami Vice, B. The West Wing, C. Hill Street Blues, or D. The Sopranos? Let me get the timer going, and I'll read this question again. I think you can eliminate a couple of them if you remember the decade in which they came out. The question is, which TV show won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Drama in 1983? A. Miami Vice, B. The West Wing, C. Hill Street Blues, or D. The Sopranos. About 5 seconds left. Get your answers locked in, folks. The correct answer is, of course, Hill Street Blues. 9. Which American singer-songwriter released the hit single Flashdance, What a Feeling in 1983? Was it A. Madonna, B. Cyndi Lauper, C. Diana Ross, or D. Irene Cara? Let me get the timer going. Now we'll read the question one more time. 9. Which American singer-songwriter released the hit single Flashdance, What a Feeling in 1983? And what a soundtrack that was, right? A. Madonna, B. Cyndi Lauper, C. Diana Ross, or D. Irene Cara? Okay, about 5 seconds left. Lock in your answers, folks. Correct answer is Irene Cara, who we just lost recently. By the way, R.I.P. Treat Williams. Tough to see that happen. Thought about making a video or doing a live stream, but it's just tough. Sometimes I can't even get up the desire to do it because I just feel horrible when we lose these celebrities. Anyway, let's move on. Final question. And Treat Williams, I hate to keep going back to this, but we lost him early. He was 71 years old. We lost him motorcycle accident because of a motorcycle accident. He shouldn't be gone. But I guess, there will be those folks that say when it's your time, it's your time. Maybe he's one of those that would say that. I don't ride a motorcycle. I'd rather try to hold off my time as long as possible. Okay, question number 10. Which movie directed by John Landis was released in 1983 and featured Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy as unlikely business partners? Was it A, Trading Places, B, Beverly Hills Cop, C, The Blues Brothers, or D, Coming to America? Timer engaged. Again, the question is this, the final question. Answer wisely, people. Some of you have perfect scores so far. Which movie, directed by John Landis, was released in 1983 and featured Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy as unlikely business partners? Was it A, Trading Places, B, Beverly Hills Cop, C, The Blues Brothers, or D, Coming to America? All right. Hopefully everybody got this right. It is Trading Places. Also starred Jamie Lee Curtis. Memorable performance by Jamie Lee. Lots of fun. Great movie. And Eddie Murphy was so good in that movie. Dan Aykroyd's always funny, but it was one of the first movies where I really realized how funny Eddie was. And I'd really loved him in Saturday Night Live. Okay. Well, Mr. T wants to know how you did. And I do as well. So let's get some scores on the screen, folks. Tell me how you did. All right. I got to scroll back up here. Here we go. Tug rocked it tonight. 10 of 10. Folks, remember, this guy, he's really having a week. He hit 8,000 subscribers over on his YouTube channel. You should check it out. He does some good stuff over there. And as 8,000 people seem to agree. So check it out. 10 of 10 tonight. Good job, Tug. Robert Forsyth was 9 of 10. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyers, YouTube creator, known for her new channel, Tracy's Fractured History and More, 10 for 10 tonight. Yes, she was, Jordan. She was extremely sexy. Channel member David Kerbo, 9 out of 10. Darn it. That last question I knew would get some of you guys. Custom God, 9 out of 10. Nick Mamonas, 9 out of 10. David Thomas, 7 out of 10. I am so sorry to hear that, Emily. Yeah, motorcycles, they are dangerous. You don't have much protecting you, right? Lavender 11 says, one of the best years of my life, 83. Teb, 10 out of 10. Good job. You made up for those missed questions, and you got the score I totally expected you to get. Paul Rotter, 7 out of 10. Ken Wilkinson, 6 out of 10. Dolph Quick, 9 out of 10. Channel member Keith E., 8 out of 10. Channel member Angela McArdle, 10 out of 10. And all you channel members, remember, we've got that live stream coming up, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that, the Sunday after Father's Day. Hopefully I think we might do another call-in show. That was fun when we did that. We'll do that. I will not be live streaming next week, so that will be the next time I go live. For those folks that support the channel, that's when it is. Anyway, moving on. Sakina, 10 out of 10. Karen Lester, 5 out of 10. Channel member Superplex, 8 out of 10. Melissa Foster, 8 out of 10. Jay Aldridge, 10 out of 10. Channel member Mike D, 7 out of 10. Lamont Bradford, 9 out of 10. Yes, the MASH question was, I tried to clarify as I was reading it, but I get it. Good Owner, 7 out of 10. Raja, 1938, 8 out of 10. Tracy Randolph, 8 out of 10. You know what? I haven't seen John Collins. I thought he was going to play with us tonight. John, are you out there? Give me your score, buddy. I want to hear how you did. Jordan Frazier, 10 out of 10. Good job. Brent Howell, 10 out of 10. Wedge Antilles got 9 out of 10. Tom McCluskey thinks maybe 6 out of 10. Media Archive Mike rocked it tonight. Not so bad for someone who was in the crib at the time. Emily Miller missed one. The MASH question. There we are. John Collins says, 3 out of 4. I was indisposed. I want to win the second magazine drawing. Let's go. I'm excited. Okay. All right. Danny Staten got 10 out of 10. Willie Bowen, 9 out of 10. Kenny the Wine Guy, 9 out of 10. Channel member Kenny the Wine Guy, thank you for your support. Channel member Sean Innes, 9 out of 10. Gloop Trekker, 10 out of 10. Tug, dude, thanks for all the work you do. You know what? Being a YouTube creator isn't easy. It's a passion, though, and I know it's a passion for you, Tug, and you're doing good stuff. So keep it up. I want to see you get to 10,000 as quickly as possible. I'm going to have you on a live stream in the near future. I want to know your story. What I really love having as guests on my live streams are YouTube creators. And I love hearing stories, understanding what drove you, what compelled you to create the channel, and learn all about what, I know what the kind of stuff you love because you talk about it all the time on your channel. So again, I want to know why. I want to know what memories you have. And so I'd love to have you on in the future and visit with you more about that. Maximus Prime, 9 out of 10. Gary Carpenter, 8 out of 10. How's my MASH answer wrong? It's not 2. It's 2, not 3. No, it is 3. The final, it was during the calendar year, 1983, as I said when I was reading the question. MASH, the series finale, ended it early in 83. And then you had Trapper John MD, which was still airing in 1983. And you had After MASH. So I'm not wrong on this one. I am often wrong, CS, but not this time. Let's see. Raja 1938 says, got the MASH question right by mistake. Remembered Walter. Now, that was a pilot that aired one episode, and I don't know if that was 83 or 84 or even later. Let's see. Larry Moore, 9 out of 10. Let's see. Willie Bowen says David Bowie recorded and released the song Let's Dance in 83. Let's see. I think that's it for scores. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off the screen. And we are going to do one final drawing. What are we drawing for, folks? Well, it's a copy of this. Now, I'm not certain that it is RetroFan number 26. RetroFan 26 is the May 2023 issue. I have a sneaking hunch that tonight's winners might be getting the July 2023 issue, which means you might be waiting 2 or 3 weeks for it to arrive in your mailbox. But boy, oh boy, is RetroFan just a fantastic magazine. I've already talked at length about it, but if you don't win the drawing, click on the link in the description section of this live stream, this video if you're watching it later, and check out all the good stuff that Tomorrow's Publishing is doing. They definitely deserve our support. Okay, let me go ahead and bring up the tool. Sharing my screen, getting the giveaway tool up. Hashtag Retro2. Hashtag Retro2 is what I need in the chat, folks, for you to be entered into this second drawing for RetroFan magazine tonight. And I'm going to keep this simple. You got to be quick tonight. You got to be quick tonight for this second one. We're already going on. It's been literally almost an hour and a half with this live stream tonight. It's my family, folks. It's Father's Day on a Sunday. And these 4 people are what make my life so wonderful. I love being a dad. I love being a husband. And they are truly the individuals that give me the most joy. So enough stalling there. I did want to tell my family how much I love them, though. If they ever, and they don't usually watch my live streams, but if any of my family members, and they're spread out across the country right now, if any of them see this, I sure hope they know how much I love them. Okay. Let me put a timer on. We'll give folks 30 more seconds. Then we're gonna go. We're just gonna click on that draw button. Hashtag Retro2 gets you in the drawing tonight. Again, this is a no obligation type thing. Why not do it? Why not, even if you think, I'm not sure I would like it, have them send you a copy and see if you do. My hunch is that you will enjoy it just as much as I have ever since my good friend, community member, Tom McCluskey, a.k.a. the Hungry Jerk, sent me a couple of copies of the magazine. And the good folks over at Tomorrow's, they're just such good partners. You know, they don't pay me, but they don't have to because I'm passionate about this magazine. And the fact that they're willing to give away copies for our drawings, that's incentive enough for me to continue to talk about how awesome this magazine is. Okay, got to go over to the tool and press that draw button. 33 people in the drawing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Let's see who our winner is. Who is it going to be? It is Ms. Elizabeth, a.k.a. Music Girl 67. Wow, that's great. I am excited that you are the winner, one of our 2 winners tonight. And such an engaged community member, a channel member. It's awesome to see you win. Congratulations to you. Ms. Elizabeth, you may have won in the past as well. I think you may have. You may already have my email address, but I'm going to put it on the screen for you. Just in case, I need you to send me your full name and an address for me to have the good folks over at Tomorrow's Publishing send you a copy of, I think it's going to be the July 2023 issue of RetroFan. I really do. All right, the numbers are dropping quickly. That's what happens when when the drawing's over and really there ain't much to do but the goodbyes and the thank yous. If you stick around, here's what I got going. I've got a couple more videos, a few more videos that I'll play after I kind of start, after I say goodbye and I'll still play a couple more videos, which I want to give you guys all the chance to visit, mingle a little bit longer, and say your goodbyes to everybody. It's been one of the best nights from an engagement standpoint. Just the conversation that you have all had, not necessarily with me all the time, but with each other. Really, that's what live streams, I think, when I think about what they accomplish and the purpose and why they are important, it's to bring people together. It's not so much about Dave Sundstrom yammering on about 1983, but bringing over 100, I think we at one point had over 120 people here tonight in the chat visiting about, the 80s and specifically 1983, and sharing memories and talking about their favorite TV shows and movies and music. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. And I truly am grateful to all of you for your support, your engagement, for, every time I do one of these live streams, it energizes me. It gives me the enthusiasm and the momentum to keep moving forward and to continue to produce videos like the one that I'm going to publish tomorrow on Ms. Justine Bateman from Family Ties. Super excited to publish it. Channel members, of course, have seen it for a few days now. And then later on, I think on Sunday, there's one I'm working on right now on Ron Howard. I'm a big Ron Howard fan. If you don't know, folks, Andy Griffith Show and Ron Howard, just love the actor, the director, and that show. So anyway, thank you. Thanks to all of you for all you do. And as I always do, I like to say thank you myself, but I don't do it as well as my friend Fred Rogers. So let me get him over here. Fred, can you talk to these folks for me, please, for a minute?
You are special.
You truly are. Thanks so much. Everybody have a great night, and we'll talk to you all soon. If I was forced to pinpoint a specific time when TV was at its absolute finest, I'd probably end up saying that the late 70s or early 80s were the very best. Truly, it was a golden era for television. Big stars on even bigger shows. And when I think back to that period of time, I'm not sure there was any bigger show than Dallas. Premiering during the spring of 1978, Dallas told the story of a wealthy and feuding Texas family, the Ewings. The show was all about the family's oil company and cattle ranching, with a whole bunch of lying, cheating, and other shenanigans mixed in for good measure. While Larry Hagman quickly became the breakout star of the show, the entire cast was really good, including Charlene Tilton, who played Lucy Ewing, JR's promiscuous niece whose parents, Gary and Valene, had been forced to leave the ranch. Their move to California was chronicled in the Dallas sequel Knots Landing, which, like Dallas, ran for 14 seasons on CBS. For a teenager watching Dallas, it seemed like all of the actors on the show had it made. I assumed the fame and fortune that came along with a role in a hit primetime television series like Dallas could be used to measure the challenges and obstacles faced by those stars. In other words, I felt like they were lucky, and probably had been lucky their entire lives. Little did I know that things hadn't been easy, at least for one of Dallas's stars. Yep, I'm talking about Charlene Tilton, who as a very young girl had found herself in foster care. And then by the time that she was 15, she was fending for herself, living on her own. My own mother found herself in a similar situation at roughly the same age, and I know from listening to her talk about her experiences just how tough things can get. Things that most of us take for granted, like food on the table, a roof over our heads. Well, they were no guarantee for my mother or for Charlene. And yet Charlene persisted. She didn't give up. She couldn't. She went to school and did the best that she could to make ends meet. And as she'd walk to school each day, she would often detour past the studio lots and just watch for a few minutes. Daydream, if you will. She'd stick around as long as she could, hoping to see someone famous, and then race off to school, only partially daring to dream about what a life might be like if she were lucky enough to be one of those people that the security guards allowed past the gates. At some point during those high school years, Charlene met Larry Hagman, and somehow managed to strike up a conversation with the well-known star of I Dream of Jeannie. The two connected, and from what I can tell, Hagman started to keep an eye on Charlene. He knew she wanted to be an actress, and when she was 17, he was there rooting for her as she auditioned for the role of Lucy Ewing. Of course, the rest is history. Even if you weren't a fan of the show, you know about Dallas. The show was a pop culture phenomenon here in the U.S., and it was equally as popular in many other parts of the world. And as the show became more popular, Charlene herself became quite a celebrity, and before you knew it, she was on the cover of many popular magazines here in the States. She also dabbled in music, and while her single C'est La Vie didn't chart here in the U.S., it found greater success internationally, I've been told. Of course, you really know that you've made it when you're offered a chance to host Dick Clark's New Year's Rocking Eve, which, if you ask me, is still the best way to ring in the new year, even if Mr. Clark himself is no longer around. Charlene also made the obligatory guest spots on shows like Love Boat and Fantasy Island. Heck, she even hosted that infamous episode of Saturday Night Live that got comedian Charles Rocket fired for dropping the F-bomb on live TV. Quick side note here, just look at this season 4 episode of The Love Boat that Charlene appeared in. Holy cow, look at that lineup! This right here, folks, is why The Love Boat was such a fun show to watch. Alright, getting back to Larry and Charlene. Of course, by the time the whole Who Shot JR thing rolled around, it seemed like Hagman was one of the biggest stars in the world. But despite that fame and Larry's penchant for partying, he never lost track of the young girl that he had helped catch a break. Yes, he and Charlene remained incredibly close, and they would remain great friends throughout the remainder of Hagman's life. When Hagman passed away in November of 2012, Charlene said this: "Larry was a father figure to me. He and his wife were two of the most wonderful people. I think about him a lot, and I know it might sound kind of hocus-pocusy, but I still feel his presence." You see, folks, the truth about Charlene's relationship with Larry Hagman is that it was a very special one. And even though Larry has passed away, she still feels the impact of his kindness and encouragement that he offered up so very long ago. So with that said, just in case you're wondering, here's what Charlene's been up to. I guess it's fair to say that Charlene has always had a ton of fond feelings about the years that she spent with her Dallas family, and in 2004, she reunited with her castmates to reminisce about her time on the show. When the show was revived in 2012, Charlene made a handful of appearances on that show, which ran for 3 seasons on the TNT network here in the States. And if we go just a little further back in time, I feel like I'm obligated to mention that Charlene single-handedly sold hundreds of thousands of abdominizers, which was a piece of molded plastic that somehow magically made sit-ups easier, and as a result, 6-pack abs were just a measly $20 away. I never bought one, maybe I should have. My stomach is more of a keg than anything else these days. Moving away from infomercials to something way more commendable, Charlene spends a great deal of time these days giving of herself and her time. She truly is trying to find ways to pay it forward. Pictured above is a clip that I found on YouTube where they talk about her efforts to help raise money for children who are currently in the foster program here in the United States. And Charlene is also a board member of Actors for Autism and can frequently be found helping lead workshops designed to make these people, folks on the autistic spectrum, feel like inclusion in the entertainment industry can be a reality and not just a dream. Another project, if I dare call it that Charlene has been working on for decades now is her very talented daughter, Cherish, who is both an actress and a singer. If I had to pick a favorite song from her most recent album, I'd suggest you give Ones You Leave Behind a spin. I don't know if it is or not, but the song sounds very autobiographical. Getting back to Dallas, if you'd like to revisit the lives of the Ewing clan, you can do so on Amazon's IMDb TV offering, where you can currently watch seasons 2 through 14 for free if you're willing to put up with a few ads. However, if you dislike ads as much as I do, you can always pick up the DVDs. I know, kind of old school, but when the internet goes down from time to time, it's nice to have something to watch. And The Legacy of Dallas is a pretty darn good way to spend a few hours, or days. That show can be pretty darn addictive. Yep, hours of fun can be had thanks to great performances by Patrick Duffy, Victoria Principal, and the guy who extended his hand of friendship to Charlene Tilton oh so many years ago, Larry Hagman. I doubt that he knew the impact that he would have on Charlene when decades ago he befriended that young lady and became something of a surrogate father to her. But that's what makes life so sweet. The little ripples that our acts of kindness can have on the lives of others out there on that big ocean of life that we all navigate. Well, they're endless, and truthfully, you never know how much good you can do. Alright, I'm done being sappy. Let's close with an image from Circus of the Stars. The feller to the left of Charlene is going to throw all sorts of pointy objects at her, and she's going to have to hold very, very still if she wants to stick around for the applause. Man, I really love that show. You can watch this clip and a whole bunch more right here on YouTube, so when you get tired of watching Dallas on IMDb TV, you now have something else to watch as well. Okay, now it's your turn. Please share your memories in the comments section. While you're at it, I'd love a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I would be absolutely honored if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
I'm freezing! Superman!
Uh-oh, sounds like Lisa and Scott are trapped in the icy cave of that frosty-faced villain, Captain Cold. This is a job for Superman.
My fast freeze zapper will freeze Superman forever.
No way, Captain. Here, kids, my new Superman Hot Cocoa Mix is the super tasting way to warm up.
It's really sweet. And chocolatey.
And see, Captain Cold can't take this warm reception. New Superman Hot Cocoa, the super tasting way to warm up.
Without a doubt, if you watched a ton of TV in the 80s, then you remember the A-Team. The premise of the show was a ton of fun. 4 members of a U.S. Army Special Forces unit are tried and convicted for a crime that they didn't commit. They escape from prison and begin working as soldiers of fortune, while trying to clear their names and avoid capture by law enforcement. Yep, we all remember this show, but did you know that these two fellers right here, well, they had a bit of a feud going on, or at the very least, they didn't always get along. More on that in just a moment, but first, let me introduce myself. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and I like to think of myself as something of a pop culture historian, at least when it comes to music, movies, and especially TV. Simply put, I love talking about this stuff. Alright, with that said, let's get rolling. I think I loved this show so much because it was way over the top. It wasn't uncommon to see these guys in some sort of horrific vehicle crash and yet walk away with nary a scratch on their bodies. Yeah, bullets flew and people died, but the violence for the most part was pretty darn cartoony, and the entire thing was put together in a fairly light-hearted way. In a nutshell, the show was super fun to watch, and I always assumed it was fun to put together. However, the fun to put together part might be a bit of a stretch, at least for these two fellers who did struggle to get along for much of the show's run. Why? Well, let me just say that I don't think it was any one person's fault. While some folks might be quick to point their fingers at George Peppard, saying that he was irked that Mr. T seemed to be the breakout star of the show, and even more ticked off when he found out that Mr. T was making more money than him. There are those, however, on the other side who say that Mr. T's personality could just be a bit difficult to take at times. From what I understand, while he was on the set, Mr. T was a bit of a talker, and the non-stop, endless barrage of "World According to Mr. T," well, it got to be difficult for a lot of people. Even Robert Vaughn, who was brought in specifically during the 5th and final season of the show to be something of a peacemaker. So here's the deal. Yeah, there were moments when these two fellers weren't talking, but you know what? It wasn't all of the time, and regardless of how they were feeling on the set, they never let it show on screen. They were consummate professionals throughout the entire run of the A-Team. Also worth mentioning is that George Peppard and Mr. T did find a way to make amends and get along prior to George's passing. And I must admit, I was so happy to find out that it was George who, after having some health issues, decided to reach out to his co-star. He did so by sending a bouquet of flowers along with a kind message letting Mr. T know that despite their differences and difficulties, he did appreciate the opportunity that he had to work with him. Super classy move, George. I've got a bit more to share, but first I feel like we need a quick commercial message.
They're the A-Team. You know they're soldiers of fortune. They're the A-Team. Helping people in need. Pretend that you're Hannibal, Murdoch or Face, or maybe D.A. Baracus. You know which one is an ace. Each is sold separately with rifle and gear. If there's trouble to face, you know the A-Team's here. They're the A-Team. The A-Team. Hannibal, Face, Murdoch, and D.A. Baracus. Each is sold separately from Krona Toys.
I have to wonder what those toys are worth now. Hey folks, I've got another video out there about the A-Team, and in particular Melinda Cooley, who played Amy Amanda Allen, more affectionately known as AAA on the show. I'll post a link to that video in just a moment. Okay, now it's your turn. Were you aware that there was tension on the set between these two wonderful actors? Way back then, I certainly didn't. But I am grateful that in the end, they found a way to work things out. Anyway, please share your memories in the comments section. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you clicked on that little thumbs up icon over there. Gave this video a like. And what the heck, while you're at it, why not consider subscribing to the channel? I talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.